ready to go. The chat is ready. Let's have a match between fcoughlin and Slimkirby. And don't think the chat didn't notice your dog.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Here we go. 2 different start locations. Bombs for Slimkirby. Heart container for Fred.
Yeah, bombs is nice. It's a little lesser value since you're starting at Link's house, but it's still definitely a nice early find.
I really like finding bombs because then you can do some certain things to help you throughout your entire quest. Fred setting up the houlihan room. This is his normal strategy going on here.
Oh.
Slim got the first kill, and oh, that's a beautiful tree tug. Oh, that's
Absolutely
great for tier 1.
Yeah, it sure is.
All right, Link's uncle has... Well, we're going to say goodbye to Pink Kirby. That's quick.
I like the houlihan room play early, too. I know it doesn't always pay out because you wind up with, no pun intended, because you wind up with 300 rupee drops so early. But this really helps secure you being able to do Zora if you wind up with an early Moon Pearl or something.
And Fred getting some bombs to go with it. So we're going to have Blue Kirby for a while. Unless we find the red mail in Kakariko Village.
Yeah, it's that blueberry sprite is it's something to behold for sure.
So Kirby now knows about the great tree tug pull, so he's not going to be worried about trying to farm some bombs. All he has to do is just make sure he's on the tier 1 of the bomb or the tree pulls, and he's pretty much all set.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't believe the tree pulls actually reset with your save and quit. So once you kill a couple of things, you're going to be off the tier 1 pull until you pull again. But it's definitely something nice to have in your back pocket.
Only green rupees from the hoarder. Fred checking to see what was at the race game. I missed to see what it is, and it's nothing important because he's not going back. And what was at the tree? I missed it.
I think it was the red rupee. It was red, whatever it was.
Blue rupee turned out to be at the library.
Both runners are going to be
map check.
Oh, I think I only saw crystals.
I saw 5 up in Hera. I saw 3 over in Eastern. Red boomerang turned out to be in the tree, and we find a bomb upgrade in the Lost Woods at the mushroom spot.
Both the runners going to be converging here on Kakariko from different sides. Neither of them have had problems with bombs, so this should be quick.
Well, Kirby gets a bomb upgrade inside the tree. Probably not what he wanted to find, but when you got the tree tug, then there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what the bottle vendors... Oh, well, I mean, not technically a life lesson, but might as well be.
Additional vampire skewers.
Exactly. Pretty oddly enough,
hammer!
I was just about to say we haven't had much for progression, but scratch that. That hammer is really nice. The reusable weapon as well.
Yeah, that's the best thing about getting the hammer at that position right there is now you got a permanent weapon, especially when you get ready to go over to the Moldorms.
Yeah, exactly. And this lets you really do the front part of escape. And Fred chose not to go to Uncle early, so he can route all that in together, which is nice for him.
Oh yeah, that's definitely correct. So Slimkirby going to be cleaning up Kakariko Village. Fred is going to be doing the proverbial high five through here. There you go, high five.
High five, indeed. Should be interesting to see where the runners choose to go from here. If I was in Fred's position, I would be looking to go into that escape double that I mentioned. Imagine Kirby will probably look at the South Shore.
Like, I don't see any reason why Fred wouldn't want to do the double up on escape at this point, but it's all about routing at this point. It's where you think the best chances of finding a progression is going to be.
Yep, absolutely.
So early on in this run, we're just going to go ahead and see these guys just meet up in the routes. Now, Fred's going to go to the Lost Woods and also check out the inside the tree. We'll be sorely disappointed. We might not see him check the lumberjack at this point. He's been known not to do that.
Yeah, a lot of runners are of the mind that if you don't have the boots, you can't get whatever item is in there anyway, so it doesn't particularly matter. I like checking it just because AGA 1 is such a big time investment. if there's a required item in there and you know you have to do them, I feel like that's important information from myself. But I can see the argument for the other route as well.
And there's the reset for Fred, and he's going to go and do, I would assume, South Shore. And he takes a look at his map. It's 6 over. Whoa, so 5 and 6 are in the Light World.
Yeah.
I know he is going to do Escape.
Yeah, 5 and 6 and 2 Light World dungeons sort of puts my red flags up for Large Marge here, or Thick Fairy, or Fat Fairy, whatever you like to know her by. But when the dungeons are that accessible, that makes me think that whatever she's holding is got a chance to be important. Okay, so Kirby's gonna check out the race game and see that there's nothing here, and we'll see where he goes. Going to Sanctuary is interesting. He may be doing Houlihan Room to Link's house here himself.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's setting up for.
Yeah, so it's 75 rupees. Houlihan will get you to 300. So yeah, it ups your odds if you're fake flippering here of being able to take advantage of Zora. So basically for this Houlihan setup, if you have the camera scrolled as far north as you can and drop into this hole, I don't know if he's going to get... Okay. And jump into the water 4 times, you'll sort of cause this camera to scroll incorrectly, and then when you fall into that hole, it doesn't know where to put you, which is why it puts you here. I was worried that when he opened, then we grabbed that brush from the south end, he would have scrolled the camera down, but apparently that's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the Houlihan Room works on all fronts. It's the game saying, I don't know where to put you. This is really panicking me. I'm going to put you in a safe spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's happened to a couple of runners where they've wound up in Houlihan trying to fall to Ganon, which is entertaining.
So far, we have not seen anything over here. Oh, well, the Slimkirby finds the Power Glove. Moon Pearl away from having Dark World access. Fred, I was about to say, we have not seen anything escape yet.
Yeah, it looks like the front side of Escape's not really holding too much, and to see what Slim decides to do here. Doing the front part of Escape first gives you some better information and a quicker route to the one dark chest if it winds up having anything, so it'll be interesting to see what order he chooses to do that in. And as Plagued One is pointing out, that's the reverse curse. Every time we're about to call, oh man, we haven't seen anything, they pull something out of somewhere.
Now, this mini Moldorm cave is going to be nice and easy to do with the hammer in hand. You just got to be careful, but it looks like Kirby is going to be going, at least for the first one, with the easier strat. Nice tackle in the bottom left corner. This cave scares me with the hammer, and you're seeing why right there, the way that one on the right-hand side is tackling him. He might just go right back to bomb strats.
Yeah, the hammer's hitbox, especially when you're facing north, is, well, unintuitive, I guess, is the adjective I'll use.
Oh, sword!
So, really, and a Moon Pearl.
Moon Pearl. Oh, wow. So now there's your Dark World access. So what do you do at this point?
You have the Moon Pearl. You have over 500 rupees. For me, I'm doing the fake flipper into the Zora area from here for sure. If I don't find anything significant to make me change my mind, I'm probably headed to Hype Cave after this.
I'm thinking Fred is going to go right straight there once he's done with this. Now, Slimkirby's got to be careful because even though he does have the blue mail, those Croft things still will kill you in one hit. And there he goes with the sword out. He's going to take this safe, and I can't blame him. This is a long walk as it is, and you don't want to have to do it more than once.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since you're planning. I'm assuming he's planning on doing the fake flipper from here. So yeah, you're potentially having to redo a bunch of stuff if you take a death here from those crabs.
Well, that's a good point there because of the fact that he got the 300 rupees from the mini Moldorm cave. That now gives him enough rupees to get everything. The Zora, the 2 at the waterfall, and then at least see what's on the ledge.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the value in routing Houlihan into your route early, because both of these runners did it, and neither of them would have the money for Zora if they had chosen not to.
So here's the thing, and Slimkirby likes to usually set this up with bombs, but he wouldn't be able to do so this time around because the bombs would put him down to a half a heart, and that's probably not a good spot to be in, even though you're in fake flipper, one hit's going to kill you no matter what. So we got synchronicity here. We're going to be checking the hobo at the same time.
Look at the sync. That's amazing. Very nice fake flipper setup from both runners, by the way. They both got it really quickly, which is nice.
Also, special thing to Vita Sia, who is our track for this race.
Absolutely. Tracking is mostly a thankless job, and all the people who've been doing it so far have been fantastic at it. So,
okay, hobo, what do we got for us? Hey, junk.
A little tip to the hobo's life savings. Slim having a little trouble setting up the fake flipper out here, but he gets it.
He wanted to make sure that he had the right pixel for it, and that slows him down just a little bit, but he's able to get it. He's back in the water, and they're both going to now head over to the waterfall.
Yeah, should be able to get pretty much everything in one shot here, with the exception of the ledge item, and you'll be able to scope that out.
And the good thing is that because you can see what the ledge item is, you'll know if you have to make a return trip when you eventually make your way over to Campfish.
That's right. And there is also the possibility that if you find the boot somewhere, that you can sequence break your way up there if these runners know how to do that.
So let's explain this Jesus walk right here. You need the Moon Pearl in order to pull this one off. Hey, bombos! And a heart container.
Yeah, so for the Jesus walk, so basically once you leave the cave, the game makes a check to see what state you're in, and so as long as you have the Moon Pearl, it'll mistakenly put you on top of the water, and then you can, as long as you don't return to dry land, you can continue to walk on it.
Yeah, it's because it checks the Moon Pearl first. Hey, you got the Moon Pearl? Then everything's fine. 20 rupees on the ledge here, and this allows you now in the Jesus walk state just to walk over the water, which is even better when you have boots. Yeah,
for sure. It still saves you time for the most part, even without them, just because you get to take a more direct line, even though it is technically faster.
Oh, silver arrows at the Zora. This ain't no life lesson.
No, that's a really, really nice find. So, again, compounding what I was saying before, if you didn't do Houlihan, you could theoretically miss out on this, because the odds are you would wind up coming back up here later.
So Fred is going to take that power glove. He's going to check the back of escape. I'm going to think that that Slimkirby's going to do the same thing here.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. With not having the hook shot of the mirror, there's not really much point sequence breaking your way up to Death Mountain at this point. So this seems like the pertinent play.
But after this, they're going to go to the Dark World.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
So you get a key here. So the question is, would somebody tackle the Dark Room to try to see what they can get on the other side of inside the sewers?
Looked like Fred hesitated there for a moment, so I'm wondering if he didn't find the map in the first part here.
Oh, that's a possibility. Maybe he was thinking that too. It looks like Slimkirby's going to go for it.
Yes, Slimkirby hasn't done the front part, so he has no information on whether or not he needs to do it or not.
Well, that's going to be a time loss there if it turns out that it was the map.
This dark room isn't too bad. You can occasionally lose the rat that Slimkirby just killed for the key, but with a little bit of practice and learning the rat its behavior, because they always turn right, it's not too bad.
Sick Kid check for Fred before he heads into the Dark World. Sick Kid will go ahead. And the heart container. And he hammers the Sick Kid. That's going to make him worse, Fred.
Oh, man. A concussion and a cold. That's rough.
Now Slim's going to try to poke around, figure out where this chest is. And the item, we have no clue. As he takes a look, And apparently nothing important.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything in his inventory there. So it looks like Fred is on his way into Thieves Town here, or at least the Village of Outcasts.
May have been 3 bombs.
Ah, okay, that would make sense.
Slim's gonna go ahead and check the front sides. Fred's heading into the Dark World. And will we get a map check? Will we get a map check? Yes, we will get a map check. It looks like Skullwoods, Swamp, and Mire. Those are your pendants. Mire being the green.
Yeah, so just looking real quick. So that means we may not need a fire rod, which would be an odd occurrence.
You need it for
Turtle Rock. Yeah, I was thinking Turtle Rock instead of Mire Pendant for some reason. So scratch that. Yeah, this pretty much means that the general class of items you need for Go mode is basically going to be what you're looking for here.
And there's that fabled map that we were talking about.
So Fred opting to do the dive into Skull Woods here before doing the Village of Outcasts circuit. Skull Woods has had a lot of value in the tournament scene so far.
Indeed, and that's why you want to go through here first before you make your way into Thieves Town. Thieves Town would be the next second best stop after this.
Yeah, there is an argument to be made for putting this off until you have either the Cape of the Mirror so that you can route in Bumper Cave or the Graveyard Ledge, but considering how much value, like I said, that there's been here, I see there's definitely no problem in doing this.
Well, there comes to be a problem. It looks like one item is going to be fire rod blocked.
Yeah, that's pretty common in Skull Woods for that to be the case. Looks like Fred is actually going to go and check this double mummy room here, which I absolutely hate when you don't have the cane.
I totally get the idea of checking it, though. You want to check it while you're up here because sometimes there's gold up here.
That's right. Yeah, you definitely don't want to leave this. And
hey, Gibda, what are you doing? What in the world are you guys doing? Oh, look at that! Look at that shaking Gibdo.
Wow, that was something. The Wall Master was trying to get a piece of him too.
And it's for flippers. Which may or may not be required, but it may have been required to get those bombos. Anyway, Slimkirby checking Hype Cave.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point there, Rick, that that bombos could either be your Turtle Rock entry or your Ice Palace entry. Could be what those slippers were intended for.
As a possibility. Let's see if we can actually get some hype this time around. Alright, peace, no. Oh, Fred did get the big key, so there's a possibility one item isn't fire rod blocked. More money. Oh, ether! Both items found.
Terrific. That means you don't have to worry about anything when you come back here. Just go mode it. And it looks like another slight cave today.
Fred finding out that you can't walk around that way. They put the guardrails up there on purpose.
I mean, it's dangerous. Don't want to be falling down holes. I mean, Ganon's got to worry about Hyrule OSHA.
So Fred got ether. Slim did get a medallion out of Hype Cave. It was Quake.
Yeah, so I have to see if that winds up being necessary, either for the Vanilla Turtle Rock or Misery Mire play, which is another dungeon that seems to have had more than its fair share of value in this logic.
And Stumpy bombs. That bombed.
Little curious to not go all the way up to Digging Game if you're going to go to Stumpy. But it looks like he's going to make the play on Sahasrahal and
Eastern Palace. Interesting idea we haven't seen from either of these runners just yet.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Rick and I actually discussed before the race started, which is with early Dark World access, what do you do with it? And I guess Slimkirby is of the mind that, you know what, I don't know where the breadcrumbs start from.
Lamp inside the bombable hut.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Kirby is of the mind that I don't know where the breadcrumbs start from, so I'm going to clear the Light World spots out first for the most part. But yeah, Lamp is a really nice find, both as a just not having to worry about the dark rooms, and obviously for the fire
Hello,
source.
single arrow.
Runs validated. That's the best item in the game right there.
You sound so depressed about it.
It's yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I'm always just super excited to find the single arrow when I do my runs. I don't know about you, Rick.
I love finding it, especially in a place where I really need that one item from Go mode.
Oh, exactly. Especially when you go out of your way for somewhere like Spike Cave or Catfish or something. Oh, that's the best.
Somebody asking in chat about how do you know when you get the item out of the chest game? It is given to you on the second chest that you open up every single time.
Basically, yeah. I believe there's a chance you actually get it on the first chest, but you're guaranteed it by the second open.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to have to only play it one time.
And just preemptively for the digging game, when our runners get there, the digging game is random between 1 and 30 digs, but it will be the same number for both players.
And we'll get to play a guessing game with that when we get to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like Fred found the red pajamas here in Thieves Town.
So we're no longer bananas in pajamas. We're now eggplants in pajamas.
Doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't come up with something else on the cuff. So far, big key and compass for Slimkirby, which unfortunately means dark rooms will be in the future.
Yeah, it's I mean, it certainly could wind up paying off, but it is a bit curious to choose to come over here into Eastern when you have other options in the Dark World that you can completely do. Whereas unless you happen to find a vanilla or vanilla-ish bow here.
Oh, that's exactly what Slimkirby would love to find, because then it would give him a reason to check out Palace of Darkness, even though we know that the lamp is on the other end of the world.
Yeah, that's right. And doing a bowless gamble into pod, if you don't wind up getting immediately bow locked by the first chest, can be interesting due to the key logic in pod and how it works right now.
Okay, so Slimkirby coming up to the big chest. This biologic is the last one he can reach. It's the map, which means the Armos have an item that is bow blocked.
Right. So the dark room coming up. So based on Kirby's current items, we know the logic doesn't want him going here, but we know where the lamp is, and that it's freely accessible to Kirby right now. So he could still wind up pulling something out of the quote-unquote sequence chain here.
He's just got to find out what the doors are. These are not really rough rooms. The only thing that really makes that first room scary are the two anti-fairies that deal the heart damage no matter what mail you wear.
Yeah, that's right. Coming in here with low hearts can be a little bit scary in there, because if you, like you said, if you miss that door, it's easy to get comboed against the wall.
Oh! Mirror! So Blind likes looking at herself.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to think of the ramification here. That's really nice for Fred. That really, really, really helps with your routing here.
Hook shot in Eastern.
Wow. So both runners making different plays, and both of them coming up with enormous items here. Interesting to see if Slimkirby's sequence breaks his way up Death Mountain now that he can access the east side.
Both players finding very nice items. Fred finding the mirror, which is going to help him route out the path between the Village of Outcast and the Hype Cave, and Slimkirby's definitely going to get some help out with the upcoming path here to the Dark World.
Yeah, that's right. And this makes Swamp Pendant interesting as well, because between Fred and Kirby, they have all the items for it. So it'll be interesting to see when they acquire what the other one, what they're each missing, if they decide to make a play on Swamp.
That also makes a viable possibility, too, of Death Mountain coming into play.
Absolutely. I imagine we'll be seeing both runners, going to Death Mountain fairly soon here.
So Fred tackling Blind. Blind goes down, and there's the blue cane. Slimkirby releasing the bee after Blind, rather the sick kid.
Sick kid is having a rough night.
So Fred pounds him into submission, and Slimkirby gives him a whole bunch of bee stings.
Oh man, But now we know why he's sick if this is the way the other runners have been treating him.
After maybe 150 races like this, unbelievable.
Oh, and that's another really nice find. Cape in the Sea House. So fcoughlin with the mirror and the cape. He might just head right into North Dark World here.
Oh, this gives him a good reason to go ahead and check the northern side. There's only one spot that he won't be able to check. Slimkirby gets the map check and sees what his future has in store for him. So he's going to be the first one with all 3 of the medallions after getting the ether out of Skull Woods. And we find 10 arrows. Not worth it. And this is where Fred's going to go check the lumberjack.
Yep, this is going to work out really nicely for Fred overall. Interesting to see if after he hits the graveyard ledge, if Fred decides to, with the flippers, just go straight over to Catfish from here. I'm not sure you'll really get a better, another better time to check him out.
That's a possibility. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't take this into consideration at this point. No, we do not know what's in the pedestal just yet, and that's because we don't have the book to look at the inscription on the pedestal. Once they get the book, that's the only time they'll be able to give us an indication.
Yeah, there's a little bit of strategy involved with the pedestal too, and when you have so much of the world open to you like these runners do right now, going out of your way, even if you had the book, to check the pedestal is not really a really good use of your time, usually. Fred headed over to the graveyard ledge here. Without Titan's Mitt or the boots having to take that little windy path through the bushes there, lots of players don't even know that that's theoretically possible until they play the randomizer.
There's so many things that you've learned because of randomizers, so many tricks, so many strategies. Slimkirby getting the ether. Will he go after the second item, which we know is nothing important?
Oh!
Titan's Mitt up and above the graveyard. Oh wow.
Boy. Yeah, I don't think Slim will miss out on that, especially since he did Hype Cave and Stumpy already. I'm sure once he gets his mirror out of Thieves and the cape out of Sea House, that he's going to be more inclined to head north here as well. Fred opting to not head over to the Catfish here. Looks like he's heading up Death Mountain. And Slimkirby is going to be going after his flippers here. Yeah, and a good point from Math Guy in the chat. Without the one advantage that the Kirby will have when he comes up here is that his dive into Eastern did give him the hook shot, so he can access the chest in the hook shot cave, which Fred won't be able to do.
And Slim now picking up the flippers, which will definitely give him some considerations. So Fred is heading up here. We'll go ahead and tackle probably Harris's next destination. Fred does have access to everything here in Death Mountain.
Yeah, with the exception of Hookshot Cave, yeah, he can do absolutely everything else. He does have the cape and the cane, so yeah, he can survive Spike Cave. So yeah, he should be able to clear out everything else here.
So Slimkirby, judging based on where he ends up going from now, will determine a lot. He's going to go check and see what's on Bumper Cave, but there's not much he can really do outside of that because he's going to get into Thieves Town to get the mirror, which unlocks the Titan's Mitt.
Yeah, so now this is interesting now that he's come up here first, because now he's going to be in a 1-for-1 situation, or technically even a 2-for-1, because he could go down and check Digging Game and the spot south of the Grove by going south, whereas he may think I can only get the Graveyard Ledge going north, which we know is where he needs to go.
So there's might be some issues coming up here a little bit later for Slimkirby if he does not go the right direction coming out of Thieves Town. But that depends on what he figures his odds are once he gets out of there. Fred making the right play, going to Tower of Hera now.
Yeah, so another question in chat. So the other difference between the cane and the cape allows you to pass through certain objects like the bumpers, and it costs more magic per second as opposed to the cane. The Cane's projectile can also damage enemies, but the Cane of Burna also creates a ton of lag because of the sparkle animation.
He's Everett. Tower room required.
Well, Fred's setting up the bomb strat. Fred's just gonna take a drink here, relax for a minute.
As he was mentioning in the ARC, he's doing it with his Wonder Woman cup. He's probably having a nice big drink right now.
No, probably. This is what I usually do. I usually, when I have to do a Thor style room, I usually, stretch back, talk to chat, find out how everybody's day was. It's a great time to catch up.
I put my controller down. We go ahead and have a little bit of a discussion, if anyone's there.
Yeah, it does usually help keep your sanity when there's actually someone in chat to talk to.
So Slimkirby, one thing to note here, with the hook shot, Slimkirby could make this a whole lot faster if he knew where to hookshot onto, because hookshot allows you to move around a little faster. It's obviously not the boots, but it does help you move around faster.
Yeah, absolutely. The hookshot, much like the boots, using the hookshot tech correctly can wind up adding up some pretty significant time.
Is that a Meta Knight?
That was Meta Knight. That's
awesome.
That is awesome. I'm not sure whoever did make the Kirby sprite, but shout outs. That's an awesome bunny sprite right there.
You know what a nice thing is before you go up against a Moldorm? Finding the sword upgrade.
Is that what Fred just pulled out there?
That's what Fred just pulled up. The Master Sword.
Yeah, that is really nice. It lets you keep your sword out in front of you a little bit easier. It lets you be a little more defensive while still only being able to need 3 hits for Moldorm.
3 if you can spin.
3 if you can spin, yep.
Yeah, but the bomb upgrade, that is the second item, so we already have found everything that Fred needs to find in this dungeon. Slimkirby making his way through the beautiful greatness that is Thieves Town. The Hellway not playing nice with them.
Yeah, no, interesting to see here in terms of what our next progression item is going to wind up being. We know where the hookshot is and that it's fully accessible, but I'm sure Fred at this far into the run will be hesitant to head over there without the bow.
Yeah, he's likely to go check the remainder of Death Mountain, and then I would assume, based on his items right now, maybe, I don't know, to tell you the truth. Maybe ice, maybe swamp. He's probably hoping to find something that would keep him out of there.
Yeah, Ice Palace is actually a really good point. He has Bombos, Titan's Midden Flippers, so he can get in there. Now, depending on the key logic, it might all be considered locked behind the hook shot. But that would be an interesting play.
Piece of Heart turns out to be on the island, and let's go ahead. We have 8 items that Fred's going to be picking up before he is done here, so trying to make an idea of what he's going to do when he's done here. Well, we can make some speculations. Just what exactly he does, well, these 8 chests will tell him a big tale.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he finds the bow in here, his path is pretty much set. We know he won't find the hook shot, but that would help him out. Book would also send him to desert more than likely.
Have a small shield instead.
Oh, a plastic shield, just fantastic.
So for Slimkirby, the big question is where does he go once he's done here? Fred, you are going to go into the Dark World. That's right, you have not 8, but 10 items in all.
Yeah, decent chance you're gonna find something up here. But as you mentioned, the interesting play coming up is going to be where Kirby decides to go once he's finished off here. If he decides to go north the Graveyard Ledge to get his Titan's Mitt, or if he decides to go do Digging Game and the Grove Mirror spot.
Well, we have a heart container, and hey, how about the carrot?
Tempered sword. So tempered sword, silver arrows should be a pretty easy Ganon for runners of this caliber here.
Kirby doing pretty well against this blind fight so far. Just kind of taking it semi-easy, not really provoking speedrun strats.
Right. Fred pulls the fire rod out of the 7 cave.
And the book.
So
you know what that opens up now?
that opens up Ether Tablet, Bombos Tablet, and Desert.
I was thinking,
And checking some monument somewhere in the woods.
I was thinking desert.
Yeah. No boots yet, so it might be boots locked. But considering you just found a fire source in the book, I would say checking what's going on in desert is probably a pretty prudent thing to do.
Slimkirby is done. Slimkirby is heading to the north.
That's really good for Slim.
Ooh, that is really good for Slimkirby because he would be falling behind if he can't find those Titan Smiths and a loose bingo square.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, who knows? We haven't seen the digging game yet, I don't think. So, I mean, he could have gone down there and pulled the Canis Samaria or something out, but
he's going. Slim, are you going to really go for 10 arrows? Or are you mirroring off to the light road and checking Death Mountain? He is not going to get the he's not going to get the Titan Smith. He is going straight up the mountain.
so he can't check the Dark World out up here without the mitt. I wonder if he's planning on taking the No Major Glitches cave back down here after he's done. Hopefully he does.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that possibility. Fred's going to check the Ether Tablet. And the Ether Tablet is a piece of heart.
So probably gonna complete the Death Mountain circuit here and do Spike Cave, I would imagine.
That is correct. That's exactly where he's heading for right now. You might as well check it while you're up here. You've claimed almost everything else.
So it should be interesting to see. With not probably going to desert with that book find. The fire rod also does sort of nudge you towards Ice Palace as well. But without the hook shot, I'm imagining desert is where you would look.
And there's a piece of heart, and that is no. Slimkirby's going to head on over to... Oh, almost got ran into by the ball, which would have forced him into a nice long conversation he didn't want to talk to.
Yeah, and by taking the mirror route up here, that's killed his portal at the base of the mountain. So that's not good for him. He's going to be going without his Titan's mitts for a while here, potentially.
He sees the compass, and he's about to get some bad news. You're going to have to sit around and wait for 40 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, tile room, best room.
It's the best room in the game.
And
So
it looks
Fred-
like Fred, yeah, he's off to desert.
Yep, he's heading out to desert, but first, we're going to see what's on the ledge. So 38 minutes in, we are trying to figure out where the breadcrumbs are to go. One of these runners will get their first win of the tournament. The other one will be at 0-3 and hoping to win 3 straight to make the race off.
Yeah, a little interesting that Fred opted not to check Agana's cave before heading over here. I mean, I know it's a small chance, but on the off chance that Agana has the boots, you can potentially save yourself a trip in here.
And this tile room is so boring that we're not even going to see all the frames of it.
Yeah, I mean, not missing anything anyway. So if you're going to buffer or drop frames, this is the room to do it in.
And there's the big key, which means this dungeon is beatable.
That's right. I may not be able to pull all the items out of it if the small key's on the torch here.
Compass, so boots not required for that.
Yeah, so this dungeon is fully open to the runners without the boots, so we may not wind up finding them.
The big key will have a small key, the big key chest that is. Or rather, the big chest.
yeah, having the mirror here really helps route this out.
So at this point, with the things that we need in this seed, while we wait for Fred to make it on over to the east side of Desert, we know they need the Cane of Samaria, we know they need the Ice Rod, the bow as well. Maybe the boots, if it turns out to be one of those kind of seeds. There's the Ice Rod.
Ice Rod. So you've got everything but Cane now. Well, Fred doesn't have Quake yet, but we know where it is. And you've got everything to be able to get into Turtle Rock otherwise, so we could be seeing an early Turtle Rock here.
So, Cane Samaria and Bow are the two items now that we are missing out of. Wouldn't this be one of those kind of evil seeds that makes them go into another pendant dungeon?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Meyer not looking especially likely since we haven't run across the flute yet. But I'm looking at Swamp Palace that we've gotten everything for that pretty early here, and the Ice Rod doesn't open up much or anything for Fred right now. So he may decide to head over to Eastern and Pod after this and grab his hook shot, and that would make Swamp all the more enticing for him.
So here's the adventure of Kirby versus a Troll Dorm.
I'm thinking in the next Kirby game that they should implement a Troll Dorm that he can copy.
And Kirby takes a fall. Fred exploring through the desert. Might want that fairy, but he's got red mail. I don't think he's going to have any issues against the Moldorm, rather the Lamola coming up. And here's round 2.
See, this is what Moldorm can do to you, and why having your sword out can be really helpful.
Yeah, Fred ended up using sword strats, and it really worked out. And now Slimkirby gets him down with 3 hammers. But that hammer hitbox is what makes it so difficult.
Yeah, it really does take a lot of practice to be able to use it well in combat situations like this.
And Lamolas, will they be down really fast? There they go. What's the item? Hey, Cane of Samaria!
Okay.
Guess where this game wants them to send them.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Fred doesn't have Quake yet, though. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. If he decides to do Overworld cleanup, that'll net him his Quake, or if he just decides to head to Ice or the eastern area of the map here.
I think the play right now would be to get to Turtle Rock, but Fred can't just yet.
Yeah, another thing that's open for Fred now that he's finished Desert is Large Marge. Our thick fairy friend is now open for him as well.
I love how you've given her a name.
I am totally blanking on the movie that Large Marge is from.
Oh, don't worry. We have about 800 or so people in chat. They're going to help you with that answer.
I'm sure somebody will, yeah. So Fred's heading down. So it looks like Fred is going to look at the Overworld cleanup here, which could wind up sending him to Turtle Rock.
Pee-wee, yep.
Kiwi's Big Adventure, that's it. So Kirby's about to grab his fire rod and his book. And since Kirby actually has the hook shot, I would imagine he may look at Desert, but I'm sure Ice Palace is really enticing for him too.
And there's Fred who picks up his Quake, and now Fred might have that thought of going to Turtle Rock.
And as soon as I said that, I realized Kirby is missing out on Titans, he can't do Ice, so he almost assuredly is going to Desert.
And this is the problem with missing that one chest. Now you've got yourself stuck in a breadcrumb that you might not be able to solve. He's going to go check the ether tablet, and we see Fred. He's got the super bomb.
Yeah, so Fred's going to do this. So interesting to see if he decides to dive Pod Eastern or if he decides to head straight up to Turtle Rock from here. I would imagine Turtle Rock would look really good to him right now.
So go mode for Fred at this point, or at least that 95.6% go mode would be to get the bow and then step into Eastern to get his hook shot.
Yeah, exactly. The bow is the big. I mean, obviously Fred doesn't know that, but we know the big thing missing for Fred is the bow.
There's an arrow upgrade.
That'll be nice once the bow shows up.
Could it show up now? No, that's 300 and half magic. Well, that half magic is very nice.
Yeah. And the save and quit here makes me think he's heading to Turtle Rock. Well, maybe not. Oh, there it is. Yep, okay. Yeah, that Graveyard
Here
Ledge
goes
is really
Fred.
gonna... Yeah, Graveyard Ledge is really going to be a problem for Slimkirby here. That really is a square sitting all on its lonesome for him right now. That it might be a while before he heads there.
The only way he would go there at this point is if he finds where the boots are. That's the only thing that can draw him over there because of King's Tomb.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with another situation. I guess when he's done Desert, he could do the Fat Fairy into Catfish and then head over there. That would be the other potential thing that he could be doing. And yeah. Well, at least I'm not the only one who forgets. And sorry, but could be doing. I meant that's something that he could do to get him over there. But that's yeah, no, it's gonna be tough for Slim.
So where's Slimkirby going to go for next? Could he make the play for a place that... Well, no, he's going to make the play for Desert, as you mentioned before. I was wondering if he's going to go to the Dark World and try and fish his way through Swamp, which of course is a pendant, but you want to get your Crystal Dungeons done first.
Yeah. Yeah, that will be the... I mean, who knows? The bow could be in Swamp Palace, but that would be the danger for Kirby, is that Swamp is looking like one of his higher percentage plays based on what he knows.
And that would send him into... Well, unfortunately for him, he couldn't go to Turtle Rock at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for items to troll you, Titan Mitts is one of the better ones for that reason, because there's just... you lock yourself out of places to check quicker. But the fact that Swamp is a pendant and that so far Fred hasn't had to touch it, that really could wind up hurting him.
Well, the good news, though, for Slim, though, and we're talking this as if Slim's going to be dead in the water at this point. There's only so few places open to Kirby at this point where those gloves could be.
Right.
Or the Titan's mitts.
And the bow can be virtually anywhere but the back half of Pod at this point. So, I mean, the bow could be some convoluted sequence, and if that's the case, that's going to give Slimkirby a ton of time to find his Titan's mitts and catch back up.
But I think right now, Fred is currently on the right path.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Fred has mostly followed the line that the logic wants you to take.
But where does the seed want to send them to get to the bow? Could it be in this room? That's a piece of heart and a compass. Ew.
Ew, yeah. You want to see keys in the first part of Turtle Rock for the most part. Don't want to see heart pieces and nachos.
And that's going to guarantee it that the island's going to have the big key.
That's right. Yep, because you're gonna need the small key to progress through the train tunnel room.
Yep. Chain Chomp Room's guaranteed to be a small key. You just use up the one small key you had. There's the Ice Rod pickup for Slimkirby, and therefore you've got the only one option: the big bridge there, or rather, the island's gonna have the big key.
Yeah, Turtle Rock's pretty. Turtle Rock early is actually really not that bad. It's a little scary because of all the damage the enemies can do if you don't have good equipment. But it's a pretty linear dungeon, so it doesn't usually save a whole ton of time being able to go mode this as opposed to fully clearing it out.
But it's red mail, thankfully for these guys.
Indeed, Tempered Sword, Red Mail really helps.
And granted, yes, Fred's going to be still searching all the chests to try to find things. It's just, I'd rather see an item on that bridge, not a big key.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you would love to just be able to skip it altogether, obviously, but
and there, of course, is the big key.
And yeah, hookshot is generally required for go mode. This is Pendant Swamp, so I mean, theoretically, if you know how to hover, you wouldn't need it. But I'm not aware that Slim or Fred are hoverers myself.
Well, I know for a fact Slimkirby is not a hover, and I doubt Fred's ability to hover either. So you're not going to probably see a hover from these guys. We're not talking Andy.
Yeah, I've practiced hovering for a little bit, and I think I've gotten about 5 pixels from the edge.
I've gotten 1.
Yeah, it is not easy.
Okay.
Mimic Cave check here.
Yep. And Fred with the perfect Mimic Cave, with the exception of one little hit there. Okay, Samari pickup for Slimkirby. Bomb upgrade for Fred.
Yeah, this seed's really race is really hinging on 2 things. One, where the bow is, and when Slimkirby will get to the graveyard ledge.
Now, this is going to be maybe a little concerning for Fred. Not in this dungeon at this point, but look at his bomb count. It's down to 2.
Yeah, I don't know if Fred actually ever did a tree pull, so I don't know if he knows that he's got free bombs from that or not. I don't think he did. Did he? Okay.
Yep, he did. When he went to escape, he did check.
Oh, okay. Good stuff then.
So this here will be guaranteed key. We still have a key and a map up for grabs coming up in the next section. Slimkirby ending up checking Agina.
Yeah, doing it before desert without the boots makes sense. Of course, we know that you don't need them now, but this definitely makes sense.
And this is a very important juncture for Slimkirby, but it's unfortunate for us we can't figure out where he is. Oh, he's up at the sanctuary, which means maybe he's going to go check the Dark World. Maybe he's going to check the Dark World where we want him to check.
Yeah. He is sort of starting to run out of locations here a little bit. I mean, he could still try and dive pod, but that's pretty low percentage without the bow, so...
Well, you've got pod. Hey, there's the bow!
Well... Can't say I'm surprised considering how quickly the seed pushed you here. But that's fantastic for Fred, because he will certainly be going to pod in Eastern now, and will find his hook shot along the way.
And for Slimkirby, he's going to go into the Dark World, and again, he's running low on options. We're going to get a pedestal check, but now we know the pedestal will not come into play.
Yeah, nothing useful on the pedestal today, unfortunately.
Well, it still could be something interesting, but it's nothing that these guys are going to want.
I guess depends on your definition of interesting.
How about Couch Cash? Just move along.
I don't think that's anybody's definition of interesting.
Maybe for the hoarders.
I mean, true. Be more interested in the Ruby Horde, I guess, but yeah.
Fred is getting lucky. He's making the right plays. The whole decision to go check the graveyard ledge after doing Thieves Town, that is the play that has really made this race his at this point.
Yeah, Fred has made almost every right decision here. Unfortunately, on Slimkirby's end, one of the things that is important for your routing is thinking like what will be the best chance I have to check something. And Slimkirby went north and had the opportunity to check Graveyard Ledge when it was convenient for him, and didn't do it. And it's gonna wind up. I mean, race isn't over until it's over, but this really is going to wind up making it hard for him.
Yep, and every minute he does not go to the northern graveyard, and again, it's a loose square for him. There is no reason for him to go out of the way to get to it until he absolutely needs to.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, Slimkirby's going to head over to the digging game. We like to do some guessing games in this chat, and here's the perfect opportunity to do one. Guess the number of digs it's going to take for Slimkirby to find the item.
Well, he's already started, so I'm not gonna hedge my bets now.
Well, we know it's not 10. And we still haven't found it. And do we have Slimkirby, the artist, here?
Maybe.
Not really. Oh, wow. All that time for a bomb upgrade.
Yeah, yeah, 29, I think. Just one from Max, I believe. I don't think I've ever actually seen a 30-day dating game myself, but I haven't been actively looking for it either. So yeah, just as we thought, Fred on his way over to Pod and Eastern here. Gonna check out Sahasrarla's hut first real quick. I imagine he will probably hedge his bets and do Eastern first, and that will net him his hook shot and go mode.
I don't know. Like, I almost want to think that he's going to do Eastern second behind Pod. Not that it really matters at this point, because he's got enough of a comfortable lead that I don't see Slimkirby coming back.
Yeah, no, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not going to wind up mattering one way or the other. Well, if I'm one item from go mode, I'm going to do the shorter dungeon first. But we'll see what Fred decides to do.
And there's still a good possibility that we're not done with this just yet. Oh, Fred going to the light world before he had Kiki open up the door, so he's going to have to do that all over again, but he's going to Eastern. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Fred just making, at least in terms of the major ones, just all the right decisions here. He is on track for an incredibly quick finish.
Fred is probably about a minute away from go mode.
Yeah, go mode sub-hour with 4 crystals already under your belt is, I mean, that's the kind of pace that we all hope we can get.
So, here's the thing. He's only on 95.6% go mode. Don't forget that.
True. There is the possibility that the Ganon's Tower Big Key is sitting on the torch.
We've already seen one seed where it did turn out to be, although it was hilarious to the fact that they gave him the big key on the torch with the boots in chest number 1.
Yeah, right. But, I mean, obviously, odds are going to be that you'll be digging overworld spots or Ganon's Tower basement looking for that if that does happen.
And don't forget to follow our runners as they continue throughout this tournament and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. And the once again, the 1 hour shout out to Fiesel for the restream. and Vitasia for handling our tracking duty.
Absolutely. For without their help, we wouldn't be around. Wouldn't be doing all the great work that we've been doing with this tournament. A tournament that's been so successful in the spring that it helped get a run into HRDQ and now AGDQ 2018.
Yeah, that should be an awful lot of fun. I mean, GDQs are always can't miss events anyway, but Zelda Randomizer and GDQ that's you don't want to miss that.
And Fred at 1 hour, 5 seconds with the pickup of that hook shot is in 95.6%.
Go mode.
Slimkirby wanting to buy some potion does not have an empty bottle to place it in.
Oh man, Slimkirby's all up here checking catfish. I mean, this is going to be his best shot is to head west after he's done here.
Yeah, but that now makes that graveyard ledge even more of a loose square.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get it here, then it almost certainly will be the absolute last place he goes.
Best thing for Slimkirby is if Catfish gives him the boots. That's got to be the only thing.
Oh, and the save and quit.
Preemptive save and quit. There we go. So Fred, next stop for him probably would be right straight to Pod. He's gonna have to go get Kiki back. Give Kiki an extra 10 rupees because he pulled away so early. You know where I think Slim's going?
He's probably headed into the swamp.
He's going into swamp.
Yeah, and considering what he knows, I can't fault him. I mean, I've found my second lift upgrade in swamp a ton of times, and it's essentially this and graveyard ledge, and maybe another loose square here or there for him. So I mean, comparing those to 6 items in Swamp Palace, I mean, it makes complete sense that he would go here.
And this isn't a wrong play for Slim. It's not horrid. You can't fault him for making these choices. It's just knowing what we know. With the information that we know about where Fred is, about where everything is in this seed, it's just so unfortunate to see this end up happening.
Yeah, it absolutely is. There's a lot of seeds that where if they broke down like this, your lift upgrade would be in swamp. Yeah, absolutely. It's just this one happens to be one where it's in an overworld square, and an isolated one at that.
And when we get Fred in here, we're gonna have to ask him about that play, the play that gave him pretty much the win here.
Yeah, no, it was definitely an interesting decision. I mean, it makes a ton of sense when Fred decided to do it, considering he just picked up the mirror, he just picked up the cape. You're in the thieves area. It's by far the best opportunity you'll get to check that North Dark World section out. And to his credit, he took it and it paid off for him.
Absolutely. And Slim's going to be checking through here. Right now, the only thing that would really put this race in a position where he would have something better than Fred is if he could find where the boots are in case we get that 4.4%.
Yeah, that really is Slimkirby's best and only hope, really. I mean, at least the big key, it looks like it's at least it's buried in Pod here a little bit.
And it's interesting trying to figure out where this big key could be. It could be anywhere in this dungeon at this point. It could be in the front half. It could be in the back half.
Yeah, whenever I get to go mode pod, the big key is always in the last chest I check. And it just always seems to work out that way, no matter how I route it. Oh, delicious butter sword for Fred.
And still searching for that elusive big key.
Yeah, we are primed and ready for bear on Ganon here with in terms of equipment. 1 bottle for safety if Fred feels like he needs it.
And 20 rupees, nope. Which guarantees a trip over to the mimics.
Yep. And see, this would I didn't catch if he checked the vanilla big key location already, but assuming that he has, I mean, this would have theoretically could have been the god pod if you'd done it as quickly as possible. But you know, how can you know?
There is really no way of knowing at this point, and it's going to be looking like that the small key, the final small key that he has access to, and the big key are going to be over here beyond the mimics.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be how it works out.
But that's not a guarantee either, because it could be 2 small keys, as Amazing Amphros is pointing out in chat, which would be even more annoying because then you got to go all the way back around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's one.
There's a small key, and there's a small key. No!
Just can't win with pod. Just can't. You just can't. I feel Fred's pain here because he's.
I can more feel Slimkirby's pain.
Yeah, it's hard not to empathize with Slimkirby.
Oh,
for sure.
You know where the big key is? Statue room.
Oh, Fred didn't head over there.
He had 1 key, so he wanted to check the 2 chests versus the 1.
Interesting. It's an interesting play because I'm assuming Fred is capable of hammer yumping, which would have gotten you around that requirement. But yeah, there's the frustration slash for sure.
Yep. And I've never seen him do a hammer yump, so I don't think he could pull it off at this point. Not to the position that he needs to in a race setting like this.
Right. It is pretty, to be fair, the hammer yump is pretty limited in when it's useful in Randomizer. So just for anyone out there who's never watched a no major glitches run of this, the hammer yump is a bomb jump you can do from the falling bridge to get over to the hammer chest. You use it in no major glitches to save yourself a key and some travel time. And theoretically, you could use it here for the purpose of skipping that small key, so you'd only have to come to the back once if you wanted to rush straight back here.
There's been nothing of value inside of this swamp. And Slimkirby knows with the compass left, he is done in here.
Yeah, opting not to go to Argus. I'm assuming the map is the only thing that was left in there for him.
It was the compass, but knowing that the pedestal is not required because it's only couch cache, there's no reason to go to Argus.
Right. Yeah.
So where does Slimkirby go from here? He's got the south of the Haunted Grove to check. He's got the Graveyard Ledge.
Looks like he's heading to the Grove here.
The play he needs to make again is the Graveyard Ledge. That is where the Titansmith turned out to be. Always got to check Stumpy too.
Right. Oh, it looks like he pulled the shovel. Pulled the shovel up.
That's right. Yeah, he's got to check the shovel. And you got to go to the Light World for that. Catfish was only 20 rupees. Bombs apparently was the dig item. And Fred finishing off the Helmstar King for the map band. He's going to be heading on over to Ice Palace next. Oh, Slimkirby throwing a bomb over at the Stumpy. You can feel Slimkirby's pain.
Yeah.
Anyone who goes through these kind of runs, to miss that one chest that has your next progression, you can feel their pain.
Absolutely. And I mean, Kirby probably feels like, oh my god, where are my Titan mitts already? But I mean, other than that, he can't feel that bad. We're only an hour and 10 minutes in here.
Slim.
Slim just pulling his Dark Magician impressions all over the place.
I think so.
Yeah, he's going. Yeah, he's going to pod. Yeah.
Like I said though, poor Slim. Anybody who runs these races, anybody who runs Randomizer, knows this pain.
Yeah, we've all been here. We've all either missed or forgotten about a location, or the one loose square in the corner of the map is the one thing you need, and you spend 30. We've all done it. It's anybody who's run the Randomizer can sympathize with Slim.
Absolutely. So Fred now heading through Ice Palace. He'll be able to finish this off. He's going to play this in go mode.
Yeah, this will be with the bomb jump here. This will be super quick. And
knowing Fred's ability, we could be talking sub 90 minutes, which is really, really great considering version 26.
Absolutely. We have not seen a whole lot of sub 130 times in the tournament so far.
I know we've seen a couple of sub 90s in this tournament. I know Rivers McOwen did a sub 90 in the secondary tournament.
Yeah, I believe the main draw tournament low is El Magus had something in the 110s.
Gotta love jet seats.
Yeah, absolutely. And this certainly, I mean, as long as you, I mean, Titan's mitts really were the one real troll in the entire seed.
Absolutely. And so Slimkirby at this point, once he gets this big key here and drops down to find, I believe it was a small key downstairs, he should know that the bow can't be here, the Titan's mitt can't be here either.
Yeah, that's right. So he may decide to leave after he checks this chest.
Wait a second. Maybe he wouldn't know because it's a possibility that this thing originally wanted them to go double dip, but this is where the version says, no, you can't have bow anymore.
Yeah, that's right. So he doesn't have the bow. I mean, there's all for posterity. There's always the possibility that he's thinking, well, if the bow is sitting in Graveyard Ledge, then I can save some time potentially by doing this now. But
so Fred about ready to go up against Cold Stare, and again, he's setting himself up for a very good finishing time. And Slimkirby, you just can feel the pain at this point.
Yeah, you really can.
I've been there too, Slim. I've been there.
Yeah, definitely have.
This kind of pain in regards to my first qualifier race, which was the one that had the Cana Samaria inside the Misery Mire, was a complete example of this. Another map at the boss here with Cold Stare. Fred done with the Ice Palace. That's his 7th crystal. Zyrak, take it away.
Alrighty, so Fred is heading into Ganon's Tower. There are 22 locations, 21 chests, and a torch that could potentially hold the big key. Get your guesses in chat about where it will be. And our prize today, as I was watching earlier today, Herfy Durfy is restocked on internet love and appreciation, and you can win some herfy-derfy internet love and appreciation if you guess correctly.
And by the way, if you guess chest number 3, then you also have to count that up here. Well, whether if it's the torch you're guessing, you have to also follow that up with where you think the boots are.
Absolutely. I'm guessing with the torch here. I have to.
I'm gonna play a little bit of mind games here. There's gonna be a small key on that torch. Chest number 9 will have the big key. Ooh, Slim is lost. You can tell by that extended pause, he is lost.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm wondering if he was planning on going to do the graveyard ledge and then decided to skip out on it when he did that mirror to Death Mountain, and now he's forgotten that he didn't actually do it.
Ooh, that's a possibility too, because that's the one loose square he's got left. That really is the last spot he has to check at this point.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm trying to replay my mind really quickly if there's anywhere else he hasn't been, and I don't think there is.
All right, here we go. So Slimkirby's now making his way through the village, so I think he's figuring this out. Maybe. He's thinking about it. It's painful to see, though. So, Fred heading into Ganon's Tower, 1 hour 16:04. He's going to go to the right-hand side. He's going to go see whether or not he can get something in here. And here comes Slim, checking things, seeing if he had missed stuff earlier. And we find a piece of heart in chest number 1. We find, oh, there's the flute!
Oh, Fred should just leave and get the swag duck. Save him some travel time.
Okay, here we go. Is the big key on the torch? It is a small key. No.
It is a small key, though. Nice job, Rick. Got that. The other possibility here, too, on Kirby's end, that he doesn't realize you can get to the graveyard ledge without the boots or Titan's Mitt. There is sort of that convoluted path through the bushes that you have to take.
Right, by logic, you can get access even with no mitts, no gloves.
Yeah. But the most common way to the graveyard ledge is either through that set of bonk rocks or by picking up one of the 2 black stones.
All right, we're coming upon chest number 8 here in the fire bar room. And it's 50 rupees.
Oh, never wound up finding the blue boomerang, so Fred using some area strats for the blocks here.
It's a good secondary option. Slim still lost, still wandering around.
He's right there, just in the wrong world.
Yep, no access to it. Come on, Slim. Let's channel our energy to him, get him on top of the graveyard ledge. 10 arrows and chest number 9, so I am incorrect.
I'm wondering if going over to the graveyard has sparked his memory, maybe. Oh no, he's at the Lost Woods now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got to go the back way in, so... Piece of heart container, red rupee, and another piece of heart. So still nothing. So there's Slimkirby still checking. I'm hoping he can get to the Dark World.
Yeah, is he heading? Yeah, is he heading the back way in there now? I think he might be.
Yeah, this is the only way he has access to the Dark World. He has to go through the hammer.
Right, yeah.
And he's got no access to nothing else at this point. He doesn't have anything like the dwarf breadsmith or anything else that would get him what he needs.
I mean, hopefully he has in fact remembered, and he's not just coming back here to recheck Village of Outcasts or something.
Bomb jump there for Fred and lost it.
See if he does the intended strat here. No. So the way you can get through this room is either using the ether medallion will allow you to see the invisible floor, or you can use the fire rod to light that torch and it will show the floor for you. But Fred gets the jump there very nicely.
Second try. And some bombs. Well, let's see what we have behind the ice armors. Slimkirby, are you doing it? Come on, Slim. Come on, Slim. You got it.
He's got it. Come on, you got it. There.
He's got to walk around. Come on, Slim. We got it. We got this. We're doing things.
No, you got it. No.
No, you got to. Oh no. He can walk around it. That's where the problem is. There's the big key behind the Armoses in the vanilla spot. So that's where we're getting into trouble here. There is a tiny spot where he has to walk around to get to. He knows he can get through this. He's got to find a way around it.
Yeah, so I guess that was the issue. He didn't realize that he could actually get here.
By the way, if you guess chest number 15, there he goes. He's through the hole. He's on his way to the finish line here for Slimkirby. Finally, he'll get his Titan's mitts.
Yeah, good for him. As much as it sucks to get locked out of an item, there is a certain sense of accomplishment when you do finally figure out what it is that you missed. So good for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, he knows pretty much what the fate of this race is at this point, but once he gets this time, he knows where he stands in this race. As Fred continues to Ganon's tower.
And yeah, showing his frustration there.
We all saw some sort of rage coming from Slimkirby, and there it was after he gave us the Titan's Mitt Quake.
Oh boy. The kind of treatment normally only reserved for the validation chest inflicted upon the Titan's Mitt today.
I know, and it was just totally expected at this point in time. Now, unfortunately, Slimkirby is still going to be drawn away because the way the breadcrumbs were, it drew Fred perfectly on the path that Turtle Rock was where to go. Slimkirby is going to go to Ice Palace next, and he'll be doing a full clear of that now.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunate. I mean, that's the unfortunate part about getting bits as late as you do, is it opens up so much to you all in one shot. Fred having a pretty decent gauntlet here.
Oh, that was a beautiful gauntlet for Fred.
Oh, taking the shot from the rocks from the Land Mola, putting him off on his silver arrow shot.
Yeah, I don't think Fred's going to be too worried at this point, but there you go. Butter sword, silver arrows, no problem.
Yep, cleans it up really nicely.
So we end up having chest number 15 having the big key. So the grand prize, once again, we were fully restocked on the love and affection from Herfy Durfy. So congratulations to you if you ended up winning that. And if you didn't, well, we got more races coming up here in the Speed Gaming family of networks this week.
Absolutely. This week and ongoing for the next couple of months, almost non-stop Link to the Past rando.
49 races a week.
That is a lot of randomizer. And if you need even more randomizer, follow the runners. Follow my fellow compatriot Adirondack Rick. You will see a lot of Zelda randomizer.
Also, be sure to follow the Randomizer Mania channels as the secondary tournaments in full swing over there with the people who didn't quite make this tournament. A lot of fun races going on there, as we mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. There is no... the entertainment value in the secondary races is no lower than it is in the main draw. They are definitely worth checking out.
As I mentioned earlier, we had a tie in the secondary tournament. It was the first time ever in Randomizer. So what's Fred going to do to the validation chest? He always does something.
He has a lot of options. He has the full assortment of medallions here.
Slim, you're out of bombs.
Just gonna bust the lock.
And you're not even gonna open it up to see if we end up getting boots in there.
Yeah. That would be the only thing.
I mean, we feel completely alone without our "what are those" chant.
Well, I mean, this helps the meme live strong because now we actually don't get to see them. Their mythical status remains intact.
By the way, guess the bong count for Fred. Guess the flute count for Fred.
Absolutely. Those are, up in the air as to what those could be.
Before Chad answers, I'm going to reserve the 1 and 0 answers. Good night.
Oh. You got sniped, chat. Rick got you in the fanfare. A few frustration slashes on Aga 2 here from Fred. Kirby continuing on in the vanilla intended route through Ice Palace.
Such an unfortunate route to have to take, too. Yeah. Aga 2 is down. Fred should be very, very easily able to pick up a sub 90 minutes on this seed.
Yeah, with gold, sword, and silvers, this should be an awfully quick get in here.
So the answer for where Slimkirby ended up needing to go, he ended up actually needing to go over to the laser bridge of Turtle Rock, which is a crystal dungeon. So he does need to finish it. The way the breadcrumbs had intended for you to do is to head on over to Death Mountain, check that, get the book, head on over to Desert, where, hey, here's an ice rod and a can of Samaria. Unfortunately, because Kirby got himself drawn away from that scent, that's why he's in ice right now.
Yeah. Fred has to be a little bit careful here, down to 3 heart.
Yeah, he's going to use his half magic here to get himself through stage 2. But ever so nervous when you have the beeping strats.
Absolutely. And Fred doesn't know the lead that he has. Kirby is fighting Ganon with him as far as he knows.
He's got to be thinking at an hour 27, which I think is actually going to be a pretty close to his open PB. And Ganon goes down. And Fred is going to pop in through the door. And he's going to dot done and win this race over Slimkirby. And advance to 1 and 2 in this Swiss format.
Yeah, Fred Coughlin taking first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 40 seconds.
And that's a very impressive time for version 26 logic. And we're going to get him in here to talk about it. And
absolutely. Very, very nice run from Fred.
And just a reminder to please follow these runners. They do a great job. And, Slimkirby is feeling frustrated, probably a little upset. Salty too, but he just got wrapped up in a rough seed. Just the luck just didn't want to go his way, and it put Titan's mid up on the desert on the graveyard ledge.
Yeah, and that's just the life of Rando. Sometimes the one item you need is in the last place you check.
Fred Coughlin, winner of the race to go to 1 and 2. You seem exhausted.
Yeah, that's an understatement, sir.
Well, congratulations. You want to know what move put you in the lead for good?
I have no clue at all at this point. So what was it?
Let me ask you this question. When you left Thieves Town, what prompted you to check the north?
I found the cape. And so I got absolutely terrified of, oh shoot, is there something up there? I was actually going to swing down south, and I said, well, as long as I've got the cape, it might lead me. Let me get that. Let me make sure that, the tree's not required, and then go the rest along the way. And the mitts, I am guessing, therefore, was one of the big differentiators.
It was a huge differential, as we saw Slim only get the Titan's mitt 9 minutes ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Slim, when he found the cape, sort of went up north, and we were assuming he was going to wind up following you, but he elected to mirror in front of Death Mountain after checking Bumper Cave, so he really didn't have much incentive to go back up there.
Yeah, makes sense.
For insult to injury, the Dead Rocks are not playing nice with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
now for his bow.
Version 26 logic. This was one of those prime example of the follow the breadcrumb seeds. Talk us your thoughts through this entire run.
Well, all right, let's see here. Of course, some of this is going to be me trying to remember everything that came up in order, but I remember early on finding Hammer, then Glove, and Moon Pearl down in the Moldworm, and that just told me, okay, get up to Death Mountain as fast as you can. I think I did fake flippers just to hit everything up at Zora, got the silver, so that turned out nice because I did that. Then went to Dark World, did the infamous Skull Woods tends to have something, based on a lot of the analysis that everyone's done, and went in there. That's where flippers were. As we just said, Cape led me north. I definitely wouldn't have checked that area right away if I hadn't done that, although since I found Mirror in Thieves Town, that was saying check all the mirror spots to be safe, so that probably would have been higher on my list. But then once I got the mitts, decided the entire mitts and mirrors said I could do almost the entirety of Death Mountain in one swing. Got up there, got a little bit worried at that point because I saw Turtle Rock having the quake. When I went down and did Hype Cave, because wherever I was I got Book. Oh, yeah, got Book up there. Went down to Desert. Desert gave me I'd already done Tower Hera. I did Desert. That opened up Fat Fairy, so I said, let me do that, and then found Quake inside Hype Cave and said, okay.
Yeah. Desert gave you 2/3 of your Turtle Rock combination right there, which Turtle Rock had the bow. Right. And the bow led you to the hook shot in Eastern, and there you go mode.
Yep, and it just worked out really well. I kept praying. I was like, please not number 3, please not number 3 when I was walking up there. And then when I went right side and found a flute, I was silently cursing, thinking that the boots were going to be flute locked outside of the tower. But fortunately, it was just a small key.
We never saw where the boots ended up.
Yeah. This actually was, until the unfortunate Titan mitt, this actually was really interesting because Slim had elected to go into Eastern Palace relatively early, so he was wandering around with the hook shot that you didn't have. We were wondering if that was going to wind up mattering, in particular if going into Swamp was going to wind up being an interesting play, and unfortunately for Slim, it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I just had my fingers crossed at that point. I was like, let me just hope the logic falls through, and Eastern and Pod were always in the back of my mind, especially once I got an early mirror of hitting the two of them together at some point, but there was always a breadcrumb that I was trying to follow up to that point.
Fred, this was a version 26 seed. You finished in 87 minutes and 39 seconds. A phenomenal job. And your thoughts overall on the time?
I rarely get sub 130, especially on version 26, where you often have to do double dips and everything else, so the seed just worked out very nicely.
Yeah, well, I will say you played it really well in terms of following what the seed gave you and your overall execution level. Full credit for the win goes to you.
Yeah, your route pretty much was pristine throughout the entire run.
Yeah, the only thing I think I could have done is if I had followed through on going down south first, I would have gotten Quake. Obviously, I wouldn't have had the mitts, but that's really the only piece there that could have potentially, I think, overworld routing-wise, sped things up a little bit.
Yeah,
Well-
I know. I agree. Yeah.
Well, you now go to 1 and 2 in this tournament, so that gives you now 2 more wins until you're qualified for the race-off, and obviously 3 more before you're qualifying for the group stage. So your thoughts as you go into week number 4 of this tournament?
Pretty much at this point, I'm banking on every single match being a win or you're out type scenario. I mean, the playoff is going to be a pretty good size race, and very few are going to advance. I don't know the exact number at this point. I don't think anyone does, because now you're starting to get into places where people are playing down, and therefore the math doesn't necessarily work out. But either way, it's going to be a low probability shot of advancing from that. So basically I'm playing as if every week is, my final week in the tournament, pretty much, if I lose.
I believe that the original thing was supposed to be 6 out of 34, but obviously that number has changed since the 2 dropouts of the tournament and such.
Even without the dropouts, after round 2, you'd have 25 people at 2-0, so someone has to play down there, and then it comes down to if they win, then they're 3-0, and if they lose, then you have different numbers of people after round 3 who are undefeated, and it filters through as it goes. So I don't know if there's ever complete certainty on that. I know, the drops may have actually helped math. I'm not sure if the drops help math a little, but either way, it's still, as I said, I don't think they're going to know exactly until after round 6 is done. But either way, it's low.
2 minute and 17-second item time menu, or item menu time, which is phenomenal. So, you do something in your chat called guess the bond count. Gee, I wonder what the bond count was for the lead.
Yeah, I opened it up to everyone who was watching, so that way they could put their guesses in. 2 people guessed it right away. Don't know how they guessed that.
Yeah, gee, I wonder. And the total times you fluted too, I mean, I bet they also guessed that number right.
I should add that as a guessing game there. I never even thought of adding that.
We didn't have an opportunity because Rick called 0 and 1 before anybody else could get their guesses in. So,
well done, sir.
Thank you. Well, congratulations on the win. Like I said, you go up to 1 and 2 in this tournament, and we'll see who you get paired with for next week.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
absolutely. GG's again, sir.
All right, Slim. It is our time together with you now. I don't like that 2 hearts you are currently throwing down.
Yeah, that's scary. Even with red mail, that's scary in Turtle Rock.
And he's going to use his blue potion. Wise decision. I do not want to see him take another death at this point, just more because at this point he needs something to help just get his confidence going here.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a death halfway through Turtle Rock is, as you said, not too good for your confidence.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of salty moments, and he's got a lot of salt to be washing out.
Yeah, Slim will have a hard time drinking enough water to have that salt pass through him, probably.
The good news is once he gets this bow, he's on go mode, and that means Eastern and Pod are pretty much just blitz right through. He's already got the big key, I believe, out of Pod, and he's already got all the items out of Eastern, so it's just go right straight to the bosses.
Did he get the go to the back of Pod? I remember him leaving it early. I don't know if he actually went back to the big key or not, but regardless, he's definitely cleared out the first part of it, so it will definitely be quick.
Big Key was vanilla Big Key location. So I believe he's gone there.
I was remembering it as the statue room.
Oh, never mind. Yep, you're right. Duh. I am wrong. You are right.
Okay. Well,
let's pull up the schedule and promote what we got coming up tomorrow here during the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament, because we got some fantastic matches on our Thursday schedule.
absolutely, a great idea. So it looks like So it looks like for all you definitely looking at the wrong day. So it looks like we have a couple of races ongoing right now, and it looks like we have a race coming up at midnight on Speed Gaming between Mr. Barry Bonds and Minochi. That was last week. I apparently cannot read.
Well, let's move on to tonight's matches.
Yeah.
We currently have another race that's going on over in Speed Gaming, and coming up at midnight, we have a double header. There are two races going on, one on Speed Gaming, one on Speed Gaming 2. Veram is going to be going up against Kyle LPN over on Speed Gaming. That's got Hiei and Ank the Bacher on commentary duty. And then coming up at midnight on Speed Gaming 2, got Kyung 92 versus Manachi 85.
Well, at least I had Manachi right. But those are both two really good matches with some strong players on both sides there. Definitely will be good fun to be had in either of those races.
So I'm just waiting for it. I'm going to stall to talk about tomorrow's races because there's the bow for Slimkirby, and I was waiting to see if there was some sort of reaction. There we go. You missed, pal. I knew he was going to do a reaction when he found the bow.
And the bomb toss.
Indeed. Coming up tomorrow on the matches scheduled, Gamer Cal versus Xantox. No restream channels have been set up for tomorrow, but be sure to check up the tournament schedule. We'll get them updated as we move along during the day tomorrow. Triscorp against Cruel at 2 p.m. Eastern. Jake Kober against Kroya at 3. Jake Hart versus Freddy at 4 p.m. Eastern. D-Sip versus Patty at 6 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully Patty has washed out some of the salt of his mouth after his match last week that resulted in the redacted post-game interview with him. Jenga versus Swerve at 7 p.m. Eastern. Yagamonth against Nicolacci. That's once again at 8 p.m. Eastern. Von Firestorm against Penguin Puff at 9. And wrapping up the big lineup for races tomorrow. 11 of them scheduled in the name of DT against Mr. Barry Bonds.
I'm trying to find a bad match in there. There isn't one, is there? I mean, how can you not tune into Speed Gaming all day tomorrow?
I have to work. That's how.
In all seriousness, though, I mean, there's fantastic matches in there. Jay Koper Kruya meeting for the third time in his Zelda 3 Randomizer tournament. That'll be a fantastic match. Gamer Cal and Zatox. This is a fantastic matchup. Jenya and Swerve, two very similarly skilled players. There's you can't lose with the main draw of the random tournament this year.
And anyways, Slimkirby with the pick up the bow was in go mode.
All right, yes. So Slim going over to finish off his Eastern Pod double combo here, and then get himself into Ganon's Tower.
I'll tell you what, though. You know what a match I'm really looking forward to that I might not be able to watch because I got to get ready for a football game on Friday?
Which one's that?
3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 9 o'clock Central European summertime. Andy, Ben.
Yeah. I might be running that one off my phone at work. I mean, you're talking two top 16, if not higher favorites, facing off against each other.
You know another great race on Friday? 1 p.m. Eastern. Mike the V versus El Magus.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then at the same time, you have Cransoon Gem, which is another fantastic race.
Somebody call up my boss and call me in sick tomorrow on Friday, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So some other fantastic matches to go for the rest of this week. Amazing Ampharos ACMLM on Saturday night.
Oh, that's going to be a boring match.
Oh.
I can't think of a match that is more boring than that one there. Just there's no skill between those two players at all.
Oh, no.
And if you believe a word that I'm saying there, then you don't know anything about sarcasm.
Two fantastic players there. And then earlier on in the day, Bentisi Wolfie 83 on Saturday as well. There's just so many fantastic matches for really every day in terms of this rando, but this week in particular, there's just so many can't miss matchups.
You know the best thing about this? This is only week 3 of the Swiss tournament.
This is only week 3.
We have another, and by the way, it looks like Slim did get the big key. Yes, he did. This is only week 3. We've got another 3 weeks of this Swiss tournament format to go before we move on to groups.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have the best of the best in the group stages and beyond from this already incredibly talented group of players.
So be sure to follow Speed Gaming 2, Speed Gaming 3, Speed Gaming 4, Randomizer Mania 2, 3, and 4 as well for all your great link to the past Randomizer stuff. And I'm sure Amazing Ampharos, after hearing that about my comments regarding their boring match against ACMLM, is probably resending my Christmas gift.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I can't stop looking at the schedule right now. There's just so many fantastic games to be able to catch. Four matches on Sunday. A lot of those really nice, really evenly matched up ones as well. Freer and Spooty Biscuit, Ninjembro, JSR. You really can't go wrong with the Zelda 3 tournament this week.
Well, you can't go wrong with a period. I mean, take a look at what happened last week. We had Christos and Ben in a rematch of the championship in week 2.
Week 2. The champion from last year is 1-1. Like, I know there's a little bit of luck involved in that in terms of who they play, but take that in. The guy who won is 1-1.
And the champion could be 1-2, considering the fact he has to face Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. He could very easily be 1-2.
Slimkirby facing off against the Helmsar King, gets him knocked down, gets the map for his trebles, and we'll be heading to Eastern to wrap things up.
Good on Slim for sticking it through. It sounds like from the SRL chat, he wasn't aware that he could get to the graveyard ledge originally. So good on him for, after figuring that out, for sticking through it.
Yeah, you know, you had a salty run like this. The first thing that you might be thinking about is to forfeit, just be done with the seed, come on in, say your 3-4 minutes worth of words, and then just head off to bed for the night and just try to remove all bad memories about this thing. So give Slim a whole lot of credit for finishing this thing out. So good job, Slim. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of a practical standpoint, finishing these seeds out is what helps ingrain them into your head to not make those mistakes again in future.
Randomizer is a thing of learning things that you couldn't think about doing before, and you mentioned that earlier. And you just that was the same case with what Slimkirby went through in this seed.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when I first picked the randomizer up, I learned a few things about the game that I didn't know strictly from watching other runners and having to learn through it myself. One that I had to learn the hard way was the fact that you don't need a lift upgrade in Thief's Town, that you can open that shutter by clearing that room shortly before the maiden. I had no idea until I started running the rando.
For me, I didn't know you could get from east side of the Dark World to the west side via the hook shot. I had a seed where I just was like, okay, where do I go? I have no clue where to go. I don't have a lift upgrade. I don't have anywhere else to go. Oh, did he? Oh, he just mirrored accidentally. Oh, and there's another Quake Fury.
Oh, poor Slim.
Anyways, getting back to it, I didn't realize that you could hookshot across, and then I just got tired with the scene. I'm like, that's it, I'm done. Take a look at the spoiler log. How am I supposed to get across there? And then I look at the hint guide. I'm like, oh, well, that's why there's the lawn that's that's shaped like an arrow.
Yep. Another one was the fact that for me was that the super bomb becomes unlocked only after crystals 5 and 6. I always assumed from a kid when I was a kid that you had to beat all the crystal dungeons first. So there's another one.
Getting all 4 of these staffos is just salt in the wood at this point.
Yeah, Slim is probably. I would not want to be an enemy in Slim's way from the rest of this point on.
Watch out, Gauntlet.
Yeah. Those horse heads are not going to have a nice time.
They really aren't. And I'm certain there's a certain person that I could name, and I won't name, but somebody else named him instead of me during a post-race interview, who made that unfortunate mirror incident too in a certain dungeon that had involved dark rooms.
Oh. I'm unaware of that particular incident, but...
That's from the first tournament.
Oh, okay. First tournament was where I really got into the rando, and I got into the first tournament partway through, so I might have missed that.
I just started picking up this game just shortly before the first tournament. I learned about it. Learned about the tournament, like, okay, I guess we're going to be learning how to play this now. And then came commentary, and, well, you guys never heard the end of me.
Aw, we love you, Rick. Fine commentator. Yeah, I first watched this through a variety streamer that I'd like to tune into every now and then shortly after I started watching him run it, I heard about the tournament, started really watching the tournament, and that's when I decided to get into it myself.
It's amazing how far this game has reached, to the point that you have Let's Players and variety streamers playing it. And some of those variety streamers and Let's Players are here in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the rando. I mean, obviously, high-end, no major glitch execution levels really help. But, I mean, you certainly don't need to have that to play this and play this well. It's very accessible to anyone who just loves the game.
Case in point, Slimkirby.
That's right. It's a good point. He's off to GT here.
Yeah, he's going to be happy to get this seed all done and over with. Well, he's kind of probably surmised it by now that unless he missed something major, which he already knows he missed something major earlier on, but so he's probably not thinking it, that you're not going to need boots this seed.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure considering now that he knows where Fred's finished, that he's not particularly worried about it.
Especially at 87 minutes.
Right. If you need the boots for in here, they're obviously readily attainable.
Although I wonder what's going to go through his mind when he sees the flute. Is he going to quake the flute chest too?
He might quake an awful lot of stuff if he's in the mind to.
I think he's going to quake the validation chest. Hi, flute. Bye.
Flute chest gets to live for now.
And here he goes to see the torch. It's more or less just watching to see what Slimkirby does. Because I know that I know just based on how he has treated some of the troll things this sea that's kind of wrecked him. How he's treated those. I know he's doing something on that 6th floor. And I can't wait to see what.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't know exactly what it is, but we know that validation chest is going to be in for something.
That validation chest is going to regret ever being around.
Yeah, it sure is.
And the funny thing is, what if it's still boots?
Fred didn't open it. Might be.
We never saw where the boots were in this seed.
Yeah, and I guess the Meyer area, I think, is the only real overworld location that we haven't really seen.
Meyer or the green pendant turn-in at Sarashla.
Right. Yep. Point.
Everything else we have an answer for. So we already know where the big key turned out to be. He has to go through the armors to get to them. Could also be right-hand side Ganon's tower, because we will never see those.
That's right. Including the tile room. I doubt Slim will open the 2 chests in the mini Helmasaur room either.
Nor will he make a special trip to see what's in the big chest.
I'm still waiting for a seed with a required item in the Ganon's Tower big chest. Something similar to the standard weekly from a month or so ago, where you were actually forced to double dip Ganon's Tower.
That was something. The flute in Ganon's Tower. Okay. Okay, well, I guess we're going to get the full tour of Ganon's Tower now.
Yep, we will see, probably not tile room, but we will see the 4 chests on the right.
Yeah, the Cansamaria required seed. With the Cansamaria, where was it? It was in Meyer,
It was
wasn't
in Meyer, yes.
Pendant Meyer with the flute in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, I sort of called that going through it, because I remember hitting go mode, I think, with like 6 crystals finished at like an hour, and I was like, there's no way nobody's gonna be like 10 minutes later. There was like, there's no way nobody's finished this yet if this is no Samaria needed. And lo and behold.
Well, red rupee, compass, and now red rupee. Oh, I was hoping to find boots.
Yeah, no boots here. Not too sure what Kirby was looking for in those pots there. Magic, I guess.
Can't be arrows. He's only got 60 of them.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to retreat and try this again because he already got the floor to start breaking.
Yeah, there you go. Just use the cane here.
Yeah, I mean, sure that you're going to get through this.
So I'm interested to see if Slim decides to open the mini Helmasaur chest. That'll really narrow down where the boots could theoretically be.
I'm still getting hope for validation chest.
That would be funny. That would definitely be my first time seeing validation boots.
aka the Alucard chest, because that's where his name got popped up during the unveiling.
Right. That was the last 2 matches there had 4 really good players, and then that was quite hype. That draw, and what a fantastic idea that whole thing was.
It looks like Slim is just going to go ahead and light up the torch and do it that way. Like he was almost thinking about doing it with the bomb jump, but just wasn't confident on where he needed to go for it.
Right. Also had the ether medallion out there for a second just to try and temporarily flash it up, but no point messing with it.
I think he wanted to make sure he preserved some of his magic for the upcoming trip upstairs. Although he did lose a little bit of it here. Oh, he lost most of it because of that. Hey, Bob, thanks for stealing all my magic.
Hi, Bob. One of the things you can learn from Oko is that if you let that anti-fairy or Bob bounce off the pot one time and then pull the pot, he will get out of that corner for you.
There's the big key. There's a piece of heart. There is the red rupee. And okay.
Okay. I thought the big key chest was in for it there, but
he has little magic to do a quake at this point.
Yeah, good point.
And he still wants to finish this. Is he going to give us a tile room check? Oh, he does not have a key. Ooh.
There's a key on the torch.
Yes, and how are you supposed to get that key?
Oh, man. I really hope for Slim's case that this is a key here. I mean, it's possible one of the 2 chests upstairs in the Helmsor room is a key. And actually, Fred didn't open the one in the room before Moldorm either, so that could also be a key.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Please don't die, Kirby. Come on, Slim. You can do this.
Actually, he has to be okay with it because he didn't open the connecting door down here, which is locked. So if this isn't a key, there has to be one upstairs.
Come on, Slim. You got this. All right. Oh. Time to go upstairs.
Yep.
Well, the good news is we found out where one of our bottles was. The bad news is Slimkirby is still without a key. And hopefully he'll come to a realization. Oh, yeah. Yep. He's thinking, and this is what, seriously, he's thinking at this point that he has to go up with a key. And this is a case where you've got to go upstairs.
Did he miss one of the ones under the pots? I don't think so.
The only one that he could miss underneath the pot would be the one that's in the double crystal switch room. Oh, that's right. Big chest, too.
That's actually a good question. I actually don't know if the big chest can have a small key in it with the key logic or not.
It might be able to. I don't see any reason why it couldn't.
Yeah, I think I've never had to consider it before, but yeah, no, you're right. I don't see why not.
And for Slim, I thought all the salt was going to be done and over with, but now here comes another round.
Oh yeah, this is just super unfortunate. But I guess if the big chest could have a key, there may not necessarily be one upstairs.
Well, that's the path he's going to be taking.
All right, thank you, Kyung, for that. Yeah, I've just never been in a situation where I've had to consider it. But yeah, I mean, logically, there's no reason why they should lock it out.
Well, let's go ahead and find out what's in the big chest. You don't get to see this too often.
No, you sure don't.
The other direction, Kirby. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see what's in that big chest. The big chest has. Oh!
There's. All right. Well,
The bug catching that.
okay, so now I'm pretty confident there has to be a key upstairs. And
There has to be.
Yeah. Because that key on the torch can correspond to that door that's right there.
See, we're just trying to make our tracker Vita just continue to push more buttons at this time of night. Again, massive props to Kirby for getting through this.
Absolutely.
I hope you remember you have to get that switch. There we go.
After all that careful maneuvering to avoid the spike, just gonna walk right over them to get that block put.
I think at this point he just doesn't give a
Yeah.
concern anymore.
Yeah. Concern's a good word.
Well, you know the other word that is, but this is a family-friendly stream.
That's right.
If I make Patty have to say the word redacted, I will say the word redacted.
Nice walk through the spikes there. No damage. Well done.
Yeah, that's hard to do at times. More salt for the wound?
I mean, this is the other thing that tends to happen, is when things go wrong, they go really wrong.
And this is not a this is not an indicator of Slimkirby's ability at this point. He got I guess the word troll is a really kind of a vague way of saying it. He just learned things about what he could do and what he can't do this seed.
That's right. I mean, it's there's so much that can happen. You know, it's easy to say, oh yeah, you know, you should know that you can get to the graveyard cave without boots or titans, but there's just so much you have to remember and learn about the randomizer that there's always going to be stuff like that that comes up for people.
Help us censor ourselves. He just doesn't give a flying finch.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, Slimkirby did qualify to be amongst the top 87 people to make it into this tournament outside of the 13 people that had their automatic qualifier spots.
That's right. And Slim was right with Sonicam in his last race, and Sonicam is a fantastic runner of this game.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing Slimkirby's next race. To see how he ends up taking the life lessons that he learned from all of this and applying them into his next race.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to watch anyone who's 0-3, because there are some people with some real talent who are 0-3, but they know that they're in essentially win or go home. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what sort of plays, what sort of gambles they choose to make in their upcoming rounds.
And that's something I would like to ask any runner who's in this position. You're 0-3. If you lose, you're automatically no longer qualified, or you're no longer going to have any chance of making the group stage. How do you play that fourth race?
It is. It's really interesting because you can make the argument that you're going to want to make it, if you like your execution, you can make the argument you're going to want to make it based solely on that and play the seed straight up. Or you could feel, you have to take some chances to do your bet, to try to get yourself a win, and you could play really fast
Another
and loose.
bottle! Okay, so the chest coming up, the one that's got the magic potion, has to have a key in it.
It has to.
Because we did not miss any other chest. There's the key.
There it is.
Okay, so what is Kirby going to do to the validation chest?
This validation chest is in for a rough time, I think.
Well, unfortunately, Moldorm says you're in for a rough time.
Oh, yeah, that's what he does.
Nice dodging. Great dodging.
Yep.
All right, Slimkirby. It's the map. Oh,
And
that's right. It
nothing.
had to be the map at that point.
Validation chest escapes unscathed. Slim with the biggest troll of all, trolling all of us.
Which means that the boots had to be the Misery Mire area.
Yeah, or the Sahasrahla pendant turn in. Yep, that's it.
Either way, it would have involved needing that flute.
Yep.
Oh, nice to get at least one hit on that Aga 2 part. Unfortunately, getting hit with the blue balls.
Yeah, that was a really nice recovery on the round 2 there.
Yeah, this is what Slimkirby doesn't want at this point, a troll the Aghanim fight.
These are not easy patterns. Here's a good one here.
Goodbye. And Slimkirby heading off to the final part of this fight here against Ganon. The one and only time we're going to hear the flute. And still 2 hours and probably about 14 minutes is still not a bad time.
For V26, I've had plenty of V26 seeds finishing in this time frame for sure.
I've had several seeds where I'm lucky if I finish in 211.
I'm just going to tank the fire. damage here.
That Ganon. That Ganon's feeling the brute force of Slimkirby's aggression at this
Yes.
point. Oh, there's a hug. Don't take another one of those. Let's give some love and support for Slimkirby just pulling through this. He could have just simply given up on this seed, and he's just going to truck this on through to the very, very end.
Absolutely. And we've said it before, but good on him for doing so.
Now don't get hit. Come on. 1 heart left. Oh, he's going to blow some fire. Come on, Slim. Get him over. He's going to come on over to the side here. This is a perfect setup. Come on.
All right, one more silver arrow.
There's the setup. There's the takedown. And Ganon is down on 1 heart remaining. Slimkirby's about to walk through that door and say sayonara to that seed. Probably delete it right off his hard drive right afterwards. as he finishes with an official SRL time to 13:47. GG to Slimkirby.
Indeed, GG's to Slim.
So, that's just a story where one item was in a place and it turned out to be a very trolly spot.
All right. Slim is in the waiting room. Here he is. Congratulations, Slim.
Thank you very much.
Well, we could pretty much feel your pain through the entire seed. Including but not limited to when you finally found the Titan's mitts and decided to show out your aggression by a nice earthquake.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah. Honestly, I'm honestly not that mad about it. I just tried to have fun with the rest of the race.
We noticed.
Essentially, essentially, there were 4 thoughts I had throughout the entire seed. First thought, wow, this is going pretty well so far. Heck, it's the Titan's mitt. 3, 24 is an insanely good time. And 4, did I seriously just make the Pegasus boots required?
Wow. Yeah, we were beginning to really wonder where the Pegasus boots were going to be, and it just kind of by process of elimination, seeing you grab everything, it turned out it was going to be in the Mire area. Either that, or you had to turn in the green pendant to get it.
Okay. But yeah, I'm just trying. All I did was have fun with it. 124. Obviously, there were better times in the previous tournament, but is that a tournament record for this tournament yet? Or
I believe El Magus, as Zyrak mentioned earlier, had a 117 or something like that earlier.
Oh, okay, but 24 is insanely good, especially for version 26. So
especially for bootless version 26.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there have not been very many sub 130s in the tournament so far, so it was definitely a very good time.
So honestly, even if I didn't make the mistakes I made in this seed, that would have been really, really hard to beat. So I feel no shame, I feel no pain. I just tried to have fun with what the remaining seed was, and definitely walked right into some very interesting situations.
Yeah, and the thing is, Fred's route was almost completely pristine. There's maybe a couple of spots where he could have done differently, but it was a very good run for him, and just unfortunate for you that where the boots, where not the boots, but where the mids ended up being on top of the graveyard ledge.
Yeah, and from past runs I did, I was so certain that you couldn't actually get that items unless you had either the Pegasus boots or the mitts. But no, there's one tiny little hole that you could barely even see on the freaking screen. That okay, you can get up there, and that's what threw me off, because I would have attacked that location way sooner, probably right as I was checking the what was in the bumper cave location. But because I had that impression, I just avoided that location until I realized, oh, you can get that. Well, there goes me winning this race.
Yeah.
People gave a lot of respect, and we give our respect too for the attitude that you had through an entire run. It must not have been easy getting to the end of that seed, but you gave it a great attitude, and GG to you.
Well, thank you very much. I tried to give it a good attitude. You can't really be too mad. I mean, this kind of thing happens to everybody when they're playing rando. There's always one location that you forget about, or even if you know the location, it just kind of gets off your mind for even just a little bit, and that just kind of throws off everything. And aside from those 2 things, the Titan's Mitt and then the Ganon's Tower dilemma, I thought my run itself was really good. I thought my execution was pretty on point, and I was making some really, really good time because I definitely wasted like 20 minutes just kind of like standing around, and if that didn't happen, I would have been sub 2 hour, which is really, really good for version 26. So I can't be too mad about anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And thankfully, you get yourself back to where the breadcrumbs wanted you to go by going to Turtle Rock, and that's obviously what the bow was. Nice shot with the bomb, just bad it missed its target.
Yeah. Yeah. I seriously just tried to have fun with it, and yeah, the Turtle Rock play. I had a feeling that, like, I knew it was going to be that kind of progression too. Like, it's like, okay, so Titan's Mid's going to lead me right into Turtle Rock, and that's where I'm going to find the bow. So in my mind, I had the entire seed from the moment I left. I think it was Tower of Hera at that point. At that moment, I had just a really, really good idea how the rest of the seed was going to play out. It's just very unfortunate that I forgot that one location.
Yeah, and it turned out what Fred did is he went right after going to Thieves Town. He went right up there, and that's where he scored the Titansman. That's what really gave him the edge right over you.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Like 124, my gosh.
Yeah, the race was actually really interesting right up until that little crisis point, though, because you had dove Eastern earlier and had the hook shot, and Fred hadn't done that yet. So when you were heading up there, we were like, oh, if he grabs his Titan Mid out of Graveyard Cave here, if there's something important in the hook shot cave, this could be really huge. Unfortunately, obviously, the Titan's Mid happened at that point. I was kind of under the assumption that when you chose to mirror up Death Mountain, that you would sort of put it in your head that you'd already checked the ledge before you went there, but until you mentioned in the SRL chat that you didn't realize you could get there.
Pretty much it, yeah. When did he get did he ever get the silvers in his run?
Yeah, he did, and I want to say it was very, very close to when you got it. I almost think both of you guys did the fake flipper stuff right around the same time.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I kind of felt like if I was gonna make any like huge time gain, it would have been probably there, because it didn't seem like it was really pointing towards Zora that much. But I just kind of checked it anyway, and was like, oh, okay, silver's cool. So I thought that that could give me some time, and yeah, I did make sure I tried to route Eastern in there early, and I'm glad I did because I got the hook shot. But yeah, as we all know, after Thieves Town, that's when things kind of crumbled a little bit, but it's cool.
Yeah, but like I said, you had a great attitude about it, and you go into week number 4, you got an 0-3 record, but you're going to play them all out, aren't you?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm going to play them all out. Even if I lose the next one, I'm going to play the last 2 like I'm still in the tournament, because I'm really, really happy to be a part of this tournament. Like, I've been watching, I watched the No Major Glitches one last year. I watched the earlier Rando tournament this year, and it seemed like a great community, a lot of fun, and I'm just honestly happy to be a part of this whole thing. So I'm gonna just have fun the rest of the way.
Great attitude to have, and hey, maybe you'll win your next 3 and get into the race off.
I'm not out yet.
Yeah, that's right. Play them all out until they kick you out.
Exactly.
We ain't gonna kick you out because even if you do not make it to the group stage, we're gonna make you do commentary.
Oh, that's fine with me.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with that.
Yep.
All right, Slimkirby, fcoughlin, everyone, follow both of these runners.
Absolutely. They put on a good show for you guys, so be sure to reward them with a follow and stop into their chats and say hi. I'm sure they appreciate it.
All right, let's get on out of here. A lot of great races coming up on the schedule for tomorrow. You can do !ALTTP, pull up the schedule. Let's get on out of here just after midnight Eastern time. Let's have some fun. It's another race that's going right now as we speak over on Speed Gaming. And let's say goodnight. So for Slimkirby, for fcoughlin, for Fiesel, who's been spinning the controls behind us, and for Zyrak, I'm Adirondack Rick. Zyrak, send us on out of here, please.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rick. Pleasure commentating with you. Thanks again, Slimkirby and fcoughlin, for the fantastic race, and chat. Thank you for your participation, and we will see you all again at the next race.
Good night.